Welcome back, everybody. Today we are going to wire up the light bar and the off-road lights. So here's the light bar and the wiring harness. This will light up both the light bar and the spotlights. And the nice thing is, this switch looks OEM. Plus, if you want one on but not the other, you can do that. So first, we'll go ahead and take our wiring harness and just lay it out. So the first thing we'll do, since we're going to be working with electrical, is disconnect the battery. In this case, I'm also doing the positive since we're going to add a wire to it. Then, with just a general idea where everything goes, lay out your wiring harness. Just like so. Then you're going to grab some wire crimpers, and this particular pack came with some male wiring clamps, or wiring clips, whatever you want to call them. Drawing a blank on them right now. And these right here are female wiring clips. So what you're going to do is take your wire crimpers and crimp that male piece to these wires right here going to your light. Just like this. Unfortunately, I can't do this one-handed, but basically you line up your wires and then you just crimp them together like that. Then just connect them black to black, red to red. Just like that. Now we're going to run this interior wire through the firewall, and I'm going to put my button right here. Now this part is Toyota Tacoma specific. If you have the manual transmission, this is where your clutch start stop button is. If you have the manual transmission, they also make buttons that are more squared off like this to where you can just put your button somewhere else. However, since most Tacomas in this generation are automatic, most of us will have this blank button here to use, even if you have the higher end trim level. It's going to look like it came from the factory like that, and it's just a more cleaner, professional look than a toggle switch or a little red light. Also, since the Tundra now offers a light bar as an accessory, I can guarantee you the on-off switch is going to be this or something like this. I just like my stuff looking OEM if at all possible, but you're working on your truck, you make it yours. Alright, so now to get in here. There are two screws at the bottom you can also take out with a bolt. Then we got to remove this kick panel. And there's another bolt right there. And then back here behind the pedal, there's another little cap holding the kick panel on. So this is the cap for the kick panel. It just screws off. Move that out of the way. Then we'll go ahead and start removing these bolts. It's just a 10mm bolt that comes right out. Then you can just start pulling it right off. And then right back here you have some wires, so you need to be careful. Here's what all those wires go to. Disconnect them and then just set that on the floor. Then next you'll need a wire hanger, something like this. Then what you do is tape up your interior wire, run it through the firewall, in my case the grommet where I run my fog lights. And the hanger ended up sliding out, but here's the wiring harness. Then just to do it, we'll go ahead and pop that clutch cancel blank out. This just pops in. And look at that. Then the next thing we're going to do is run our connections. So it's important to remember that black wires are always a ground wire. So the black one we will ground right here. The red one we will attach to the battery terminal right here. So we'll go ahead and loosen this 12mm nut. Place the wire right here. Tighten it back up. Then, same thing here for our ground wire. Place it in like this and then just tighten it up. And just like that. Now we're going to reconnect our negative battery terminal and run a test. And look at that. We got the light bar. We got the 2 off-road lights. It's going to look factory. And I can rotate the lights. Now we just got to clean up our wires, put this interior back together, and we're done. So we'll go ahead and disconnect the negative battery terminal again. And then I still need to clip the zip ties, but I just ran my light bar wire down here with my fog light wire. My relays have a home right here. Toyota was kind enough to give me a couple extra screw holes right here, so I utilized one of those. I tucked these wires in here to kind of protect it from the hood. Zip tied that wire to that stretch of wires right there. And then inside is all buttoned back up real nice. And then we will take a drive later on tonight. Except I gotta wait a few more hours, you guys have to wait a few more seconds. Also remember, as courtesy to other drivers, only use them on back roads when nobody else is around. If a car is coming in the opposite direction, shut them off. These are not meant for the city with other people around you. Don't be that guy or girl that blinds everybody. Alright, so here we are, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So right now, this is just my headlights, low beams. Here are my high beams. And then, here is the light bar. And then, the off-road lights. We'll go ahead and kill the high beams. Here is just my low beams and the light bar. And then here is just my low beams and my off-road lights. And I gotta tell you, after hitting that deer, I feel a lot safer driving these back roads now. I mean, you got your factory high beams, which give you a little more light, but this, let these cars pass. This just lights everything up in front of you. It's nice. As for the video with the deer, this video is already quite long, so I'll just leave a link in the description. But even without the factory high beams, it's still a nice improvement. High beams on, high beams off. Then, light bar off, high beams on. Light bar on, high beams off. Definitely a nice upgrade if I do say so myself. But you guys have a terrific day, and I'll see you next week. And don't forget, new videos every Sunday. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will see you guys next week.